All right, y'all. This Big Rich, man. We got my brother Town Bizznizz in the motherfucking house. You know what I'm saying? We're about to get into it. We're going to chop it up a little bit. We're going to talk about the current fighters that's in, the current fighters that's fighting, the ones that can fight, the ones that can't fight because the promoters ain't got the money. But we're about to get into it. What's up, Joe?
What's up, man? Just chilling, man. Just got through eating, so you know what I'm saying, chilling. So let's do this.
Let's do it. So who do you got, man? We got the current fighters. We got Wilder. Let's get Wilder and Tyson out the way.
Yeah.
In your opinion, do you think Wilder should take that fight?
Yeah, man, I really, really do, because at the end of the day, it's still unfinished business, because you still got the first fight. A lot of questions remained unasked. Then you got the second fight with Tyson Fury. Some things that happened in the fight that possibly gave Tyson Fury an advantage in the fight. So it's just like a lot of unanswered questions. I think there should be a third fight. I definitely believe that it should be a third fight, and I think people will watch it. I don't think people have turned the page on, well, it's over, Tyson Fury stopped him. Look, if Manny Pacquiao and Marquez can fight 4 times and people watch those fights, continue to watch those fights, because at the end of the day, whether you think Manny won all of those fights or Marquez or whatever the end result was, me myself, I thought Marquez beat Manny Pacquiao all 4 times that they fought. So at the end of the day, I was still curious to keep seeing them like doing it over and over again, because it was still a lot of questions that remained unanswered. It was no closure, and I feel like, yeah, it's still no closure to this Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder thing. So they need a third fight.
So there's a lot of questions from old media and a lot of people from the UK. They said that even though, and this is amazing to me, because Wilder has 40 wins, damn near 40 knockouts, 40 wins, knocked out 40, he even knocked out Tyson, okay, Fury, okay. So, but they say he don't have the skill set to beat Fury. Do you think that's true?
No, I don't believe that. Look, in any fight, all it takes is a particular punch, because at the end of the day, Jack Reese, if he wanted to, he could have just, a lot of people believe that Deontay Wilder was robbed of a knockout in the first fight. Now, a lot of people want to holler about this to the referee's discretion, but I saw the same type of occurrence happen in another fight, and Jack Reese waved it off. And then when he was asked why did he, give Tyson Fury all that time to recover, he said he did what was best for boxing. Well, that remains to be seen. At the end of the day, technically, going into that second fight, it should have been Deontay Wilder, up 1 versus Tyson Fury. So now, once again, like I said before, I'm not trying to hear what people saying nowhere else, because at the end of the day, this fight needs some closure. Real talk.
Okay, so they got some rumbling in boxing. They got Terrence Crawford, who I don't know if he's getting rid of Top Rank. There's been some rumors. How do you feel about that?
You know what? At the end of the day, this is my thing. I can't speak for everybody else, but it ain't my job to tell none of these dudes who to sign with and whatever. Because like I say, as a guy that's part of the media, I just want these damn fights to get made. It's cool if these dudes express their displeasure with these companies, but at the end of the day, that's between them and the promotional company. Obviously, what's been going on with Terrence Crawford, for whatever the case, whether it's politics, whatever you want to call it, Terrence Crawford just can't get any marquee fights that I think would solidify him or continue to put him in the argument as him being pound for pound best fighter on the planet. I still have Terrence Crawford number 1 pound for pound, but at the end of the day, boxing is all about politics. All the so-called best fighters is on the mythical opposite side of the street.
But do you think that stuff they're doing with Lomachenko, where they literally took a loss off his record?
See, I'm gonna say this about Lomachenko because, like, let's just face the fact: Lomachenko and fighters like him have what you call a complexion protection. At the end of the day, it's a question of should we have Lomachenko in our pound for pound best fighter on the planet? I never thought Lomachenko was pound for pound best fighter on the planet, no matter how much ESPN tried to push him. Because, like I said before, at the end of the day, Lomachenko lost to a dude with double-digit losses, and he legitimately lost.
So let's talk about that. His loss, and because I brought this up the other day, I said that Lomachenko shouldn't have been worried about the money because, first of all, he wasn't, after he lost against Salido, he wasn't he shouldn't have been A side anyway. He should have been B side, and he should have been taking whatever money Salido was going to give him, in that rematch, because he was A side, and Lomachenko was B side because he lost, right? Yeah. That's how it go, right?
And the funny part about Lomachenko, he never wanted to revenge that fight neither.
Yeah, I know.
He never wanted that.
Crazy.
He never wanted to revisit that fight.
You think his styles make fights? You think Lomachenko knew he couldn't fuck with him because of his style?
I think his style was so difficult for Lomachenko because Lomachenko, one, he have short arms, and one thing about Lomachenko, like if you keep him, like Lomachenko's best attributes is keep you in the middle of the ring, or basically places punches and then he resets and come back in. Lomachenko is not going to spend a whole bunch of time trying to dig to the body fight on the inside. He's a reset fighter. He's a jump in, jump out type of fighter, but he places punches like nobody's business. He is a very accurate and sharp puncher, but he has his weaknesses. Can't fight going backwards, and he don't like physical fighters. That's where I do feel Teofimo Lopez has an advantage over Lomachenko. I feel if Teofimo Lopez can make Lomachenko feel uncomfortable in the early rounds, I think he can have some success. I don't think because Lomachenko.
So, but being that they've been protecting Lomachenko, no matter what Timo do, they're going to get a fight to Lomachenko. So it's almost like Lomachenko already won the fight, even if he lose bad, which that's a great possibility. I see Lomachenko get knocked down twice in that fight, and they still giving him that fight.
You know what? I don't know about that, because see, I'm going to tell you why. You do got to remember, Lomachenko is a little bit older now. Lomachenko is 32, 33 years old. So you kind of got to want, and keep in mind, this dude had like an astronomical amount of amateur fights.
Right.
So he kind of, to me, as far as I'm concerned, shit, you talking about, what,
50 years old?
You talking about 40?
He's really 50 in boxing age, like dog age.
and he became professional at age 26, when he really should have tried to become professional like maybe 22. So to me, he already got a lot of rounds in due to the fact he had like 400 something amateur fights. It's still rounds, it's still a little bit of wear and tear, even though you had a body gear on. And once again, he started professionally at 26. So you kind of got to wonder, has Lomachenko already reached his peak? Because if you look at some of Lomachenko's few fights, Lomachenko has been getting hit a lot, and he hasn't been dominating fights. He's winning fights, but he's like winning every round. He lost rounds against Norris. Hold on. He lost rounds against Norris. He lost rounds versus Campbell, and then Pedraza. And he's got touched up in his past 3 fights. So you're starting to see that Lomachenko is starting to get the wear and tear.
I'll tell you my opinion about Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a type of fighter that he came in the game. He don't have that many fights, so he don't really have a track record like somebody like a Floyd Mayweather who fought 20 world champions, and all these guys that actually fought people. You know what I mean? Hard people to beat. You know what I mean? But Lomachenko got a few people that was world champions on his record. But in my opinion, what he should have did like Floyd. He should have moved up to 140, and he should have had, at the time, he should have fought Bud. Bud was at 140. They could have fought. You know what I mean? And then all that pound for pound mess would be eliminated. Because you know and I know, if Lomo moves up to 140, like Floyd moved up. When Floyd fought Canelo, the next day he was only 146. You know what I'm saying? How big was Canelo? Oh, Canelo had to be about what, 170? 178? 180?
Well, reports said that Canelo possibly had ballooned up to like well over 170.
Right.
But see, here go the thing that they gonna use with a guy like Lomachenko, because me and you just seen him in person. Lomachenko was a real tiny dude. I think him going up to 140, I think that's possibly, I think that would be disastrous for him. Just like all the talk a couple of weeks ago when you heard Gary Russell Jr. talking about he would go up 4 weight classes to fight Bud, and I was just like, yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be the same thing with old boy if he tried to go up in weight.
Yeah, because I think Lomachenko, and people talked about that too, that, okay, maybe you should go up to 140 before Bud becomes a full-fledged 147 pounder, and then that quickly got killed because, you know, the Lomachenko apologist was like, oh, that fight doesn't make any kind of sense. It doesn't make any money for you.
Sense
Yeah. But to me, it would have made a lot of sense. It was because Bud fought at 135.
Oh yeah, he did. I forgot about that. They got a belt down that weight.
And they could have fought, you know, if they didn't fight at like 140, they could have found some even ground. They could have fought at maybe 138 or something. But the thing is, with Lomachenko, when I look at him, it's a question of how good he is at 135. I just don't think that Lomachenko can survive at 140. He definitely 147.
I don't think he could. Like, let me give you a good example. If Mike Garcia went back to 135, and Bud went back to 135, do you think Lomachenko wouldn't even be in the conversation? Because he would either have to fight at 135, or he had to go all the way back down. Either one. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about Errol Spence? And, you know.
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk about
Danny Garcia.
Well, either two things is going to happen. Either Errol Spence is going to be the Errol Spence that we've been used to seeing. You know, the rough, rugged, you know what I'm saying, sharp, accurate body puncher that's just going to more than likely just cruise to a victory versus Danny Garcia, or we could see somewhat of a gun-shy Errol Spence, because at the end of the day, we got to see how his face is from, you know, the accident, how his nerves is the first time he gets hit with the, you know, without any headgear on. So it's gonna be interesting what happens the first time Danny Garcia lands a meaningful punch, because eventually he will land something meaningful on Errol Spence, and then we just want to see how Errol Spence relaxes. You know.
So do you think it was a good idea for Errol Spence to fight somebody like a Danny Garcia, who is a beast? He's not a B fighter. He's not a C fighter. He's an A+ fighter who is at the top of his game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We about to find out November the 21st. Me, myself, I think they should have gave Errol Spence a lighter touch, because I do feel like Danny Garcia got enough power. He can do some serious damage to Errol Spence if he lands something flush. And like I said,
but you said lighter touch. Who he could have fought that would have been acceptable?
Shit, they could have gave Errol Spence somebody like Red Cash, or somebody like, they could have gave Errol Spence somebody like that. They could have gave him a light touch. They could have just gave him a lower tier welterweight. You know, they could have gave him Adrian Granados, because Adrian Granados would have went up for the money. I know Adrian Granados went back down to like 140, but, you know, for the right price, you know, Adrian Granados would have went up to 147. Somebody like that. I mean, Danny Garcia is considered a top welterweight. Errol Spence is saying he's going to blow
Danny
through.
Garcia ain't no joke, man. I mean, this, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to ever see that fight, the fight that we probably both want to see, which is Errol Spence and your boy Bud, because that's the fight that everybody wants to see. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's going to ever happen. I wish it would happen, because that definitely will make my day. All right, y'all. Y'all subscribe, man. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Y'all check me out on my YouTube page, on my IG page, Real Boxing _Facts. You know what I'm saying? I got my man here. He check him out on the page.
Town Bizznizz, Sports and Entertainment. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know where to find me. Baby.